This video is brought to you by catbeast.com. Design your own custom snapbacks and hats.
Oh, JD. Again with this fucking Uber driver bullshit. Sami Zayn is a failure because SmackDown in general just doesn't use him. If they weren't going to use the Ascension, Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, the Vaudevillains, they were never going to use that Uber driver, Sami Zayn. I mean, look at Ty Dillinger. He's now the perfect 10 ice cream man. A Sonic spokesman, JD. How many brownie chunks are in that smoothie, you fucking faggot? The greatest company on planet Earth, Impact Wrestling. Whoa there, cowboy. I never said anything about TNA being the greatest company on planet Earth. You're merely twisting my words again, JD, like you usually do. How much did Jeff Jarrett pay me? Are you talking out of your ass again, JD? Again, with the Roman Reigns is the greatest talent in the industry bullshit. Jesus fucking Christ. For every time you twisted my words or talked out of your ass about Roman Reigns, I'd be $1 billion richer, and I would own WWE, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, and many more. Roman Reigns rivals even Omega and Okada? Where did you get that from, you fucking faggot? How much is Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn paying you to say that? Reigns is good, but he is nowhere near the level of an Omega or Okada. Handsome. I'll leave that for the women to decide, being that I am homosexual. I have no preference. You must be gay for Roman Reigns, JD, if you think he is anywhere near handsome. Braun Strowman a babyface. Roman Reigns is a god. Where do you get your information from, JD? If Sami Zayn is not being pushed on SmackDown, he may need a fucking Uber. Since you love Uber so much, JD, maybe you, Samoa Joe, and Braun Strowman can have an orgy in the back of an Uber while Sami Zayn drives you to WrestleMania.
JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. Big Show and Ryback, Strowman and Roman. Get off my fucking TV and save me the misery. And all you fucking goons, just grab a cold beer. The man of the hour is finally here. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script.
What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel on this Friday, July 7th, 2017. This is episode 177, part number 1 of the number 1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com for WWE. This is, of course, Off the Script, man. What a fucking week so far, man. What a week so far. I got no fucking subscribers gained for the week because every time I upload a goddamn fucking video, YouTube wants to fucking deduct subscribers from me. Don't know what the hell's going on, but we had Monday Night Raw. We had SmackDown. We had NXT. We had a 25-minute opinion piece on WWE 2K18 and all the news that was dropped this week. We had a Dream Matches series, episode 4, I believe, with the Young Bucks versus the Revival for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. right there on the channel. And we have an unbelievable, scathing, fiery, angry, off the script extra with great balls of fire exclusive news on who's going to win the ambulance match between Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman this Sunday at Great Balls of Fire, and why I think everybody needs to just take a step back and realize that Samoa Joe is going to prove a lot of people wrong this coming Sunday, man. It's not going to be a one and done. It cannot, at this point, be a one and done situation with Brock Lesnar. There's only two situations. There's only two scenarios that can come out of the Great Balls of Fire main event for the Universal Championship. Again, we're going to go over it in this video as we do Great Balls of Fire predictions today on Off the Script. So if you guys missed any of that stuff, it's live on the channel right now. Please go ahead and make your way over to those videos when you finish today's episode of Off the Script. I want to thank everybody for your continued love and support as always. Just spread out across the channel, whether it's a Patreon, whether it's an Audible sign-up, whether it's a subscriber, whether it's a like. Thank you guys so much for literally everything that you guys do to keep this channel going each and every single day, man. I want to, again, stress a huge thank you to everybody that has donated to Rusty, my friend Rusty, and his fundraising page for his bike tour, the Best Damn Bike Tour of 2017. He is riding to find a cure for multiple sclerosis, man. So I want you guys to, again, please support Rusty. He is about 35% into his goal, so he's got another 65% to go. We are right now at $1,325. His goal is $4,000 before the middle of August. I would love if everybody collectively joins in to help Rusty during this fundraising bike tour, man, so you guys can help him out and help him achieve his goal. And Off the Script here, fully support everything that Rusty is trying to do for his Best Damn Bike Tour 2017 this coming August. I will definitely, as always, leave you guys the link to his donation page pinned at the top of the comment section down below in the comments of this video. I want to thank everybody who came out to House of Glory. Thank you guys so very much for everything. We had a great time at the Elks Lodge in Queensboro, New York. Anthony Gangone, the House of Glory World Champion, is now not only the House of Glory World Champion, but the Crown Jewel Champion of House of Glory as we get ready for High Intensity 6 featuring Bret the Hitman Hart, and just announced Matt Riddle is going to be fucking wrestling on the show. So if you guys want to get your tickets to that, and if you guys want to follow House of Glory all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, go to their website, man, HOGWrestling.net, for all your needs for House of Glory, man. So make sure you guys go and follow them. And as always, most importantly, House of Glory live on Facebook tonight at 9 p.m. Make sure you guys tune in to hear me and Mr. Matthew Ryan Shapiro calling the action and some of the best in the action on the East Coast. So that's on Facebook Live, House of Glory, and then HOGWrestling.net for all their social media and tickets to High Intensity 6 Summerslam weekend. That's Friday, so it's going to be a big weekend, man. Summerslam weekend. Friday is House of Glory. Saturday is NXT TakeOver, Brooklyn, number 3. And then Sunday, SummerSlam. Monday Night Raw on Monday. SmackDown Live on Tuesday. It's going to be a big 5 days, bro. It's going to be a big fucking 5 days. I can't fucking wait. Speaking of SummerSlam, I have this idea. Now, I kind of gauged people's opinions when we live streamed live reactions on NXT, which I will talk about in a little bit, because I want to get people on board with what I'm doing on Twitch. I got big ideas brewing in my head, man. We are thinking about, or I am, and I gauged the viewers on the Twitch live stream on Wednesday, how many people were watching me from New York? And a lot of people were watching me from New York, okay? And I'm thinking, on either Saturday or Sunday, I'm thinking Sunday afternoon, that we are going to do a meet and greet SummerSlam weekend. And if you guys are in New York City, if you're thinking about coming out to New York City, if you're thinking about being in the area for the entire weekend, for SummerSlam weekend, I need to pick a destination. It's going to be somewhere with fine beer, for sure, in Brooklyn. And I want to hold a meet and greet. I want to hold a little meet and greet for you guys. We just chill, we talk wrestling. We have fun. We talk about SummerSlam. We drink beer. We talk SummerSlam. We drink more beer. You know, the usual. The usual when JD's in a bar. So if you guys are interested in that, please sound off in the comments below. Let me know if you guys would be interested. If you're in the New York, New Jersey area, would you come out to a meet and greet? I'll pick a place where even the underage guys can get in there. You don't necessarily have to drink. It'll be family friendly. You can sit down, have a fucking water or a seltzer, or maybe I'll sneak you a beer. Who the fuck knows? But if you guys want, let me know if you are interested in that for sure. Meet and greet during SummerSlam week. And I want to try and get the ball rolling because before you know it, it will be here. And I want to get everything set up for sure if people or enough people are interested in it. Speaking of Twitch, I've been live streaming reactions for NXT. I'm going to be doing it for Great Balls of Fire as well. Okay, we watch the pay-per-view together. I give you my live reactions. We have a few cold beverages, etc., etc. Chat is interactive. You guys can, sound off and ask me questions. You guys can have fun in the chat, interact with one another. We got live donations. It's all fucking fun, man. Fun and games. The Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view is on Sunday. I'm thinking about going live with the pre-show from 7 to 11, and we live stream the entire thing. We talk about it. I give you my live review and live reactions as we're watching it together, and then after the pay-per-view is over, I'll come on here and do the review as normal. So we're doing that on Twitch. I've been doing it for NXT, and we've seem to be doing pretty well with it, man. We had close to 500 viewers the last 2 weeks. So with Great Balls of Fire, I think it'll be even better, man. I think we'll be over that 500 threshold, and I would love to get a partnership with Twitch over there. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, all you got to do is go to Twitch and send me a follow, bro. Follow my channel on there. It's twitch.tv/JD from New York. And New York is spelled out. It's JD from New York on Twitch. We'll be doing live reactions for Great Balls of Fire. I've also been teasing with the idea. I don't want to overload myself, and I don't want to take away from what we do here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But I'm really thinking about doing something that the Wrestling Observer Live guys do. They go live every day. I try and listen to them as much as possible. And Twitch seems to be a great platform for all of that. I really want to try and take off the script live, maybe every day. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about expanding off the script live every day to talk about the news and rumors every single day. I want to come up with a set time. I want to come up with a set format. I want to get some new thumbnails and layouts made. I want to make it professional. And we'll go live on Twitch every day. I'm thinking about doing that. I just don't know when. If you guys would be interested in any of that stuff, again, I would love to gauge your opinion. I'll be in my Discord chat to try and gauge, their opinion over there as well for my Patreons. But I would love to do that, man, because YouTube right now is really just fucking me up. It's not really fucking me up. It's just really frustrating. Because I'm a big numbers guy, and I'm putting out fucking content. I'm busting my balls to get content out, and I just see no growth, man. I've been stuck at 79,000 subs. It's like I went from gaining 100 subs a day, easy, to gaining like 10 to fucking 20 subs a day, and it sucks. I posted on Twitter yesterday, I'm like, every time I upload a fucking video, I seem to lose subscribers, and then Grimm's Toy Show tweets me, he's like, YouTube is trying to kill wrestling content. It's like they're making no ground to actually support the wrestling content creators on this platform. So what am I going to do? I figure if I take Off the Script live to Twitch and we get a paid partnership over there, a lot of you guys would actually support me over there more so than you would over here on YouTube. I mean, you'd still watch me over here because I'm still going to give you the 1 hour and a half, off the script like I usually do every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but we'll take it live for half an hour every single day too, So, I don't know what's going on, man. I got so many ideas now that I'm home a lot. And it's just a crazy situation with YouTube. I just want to expand, and I want to grow, and I want to find new ways to grow and new platforms. YouTube is not really cutting it anymore, man, and it's really, really fucking disappointing to be brutally honest with you. Another important thing that I want to go over with you guys is Barbershop Window has a major fucking sale right now. We got a major sale going on Pro Wrestling Tees and Barbershop Window. July 6th, it started at 12 noon, and this is going to last till July 10th, till 12 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Monday, July 10th, okay? This is an Independence Day sale, and you're going to save 20% off everything. All you have to do is, if you guys have been interested in a shirt, All right, if you guys have been interested in any of the off-the-script merchandise, the JD is Negan, the Goon City, the Roman Reigns, Big Show, Eva Marie, Dana Brooke, they get off my TV hit list. They're all on there. If you guys have been interested in any of the shirts on there, you can buy anything you want for the next 3 days. And at checkout, you're going to use the code AMERICA, and you're going to save 20% off everything. And the first 250 orders will get a free random autographed 8x10 photo from a WWE legend or an indie star. So make sure you guys go over to barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys choose whatever shirt you want. Get ready for Summerslam, man. I want you guys looking pretty. If we do the meet and greet for Summerslam weekend, I want to see as many off-the-script t-shirts as possible, bro. Summerslam weekend. 20% off everything. At checkout, use the code AMERICA, and you're going to save yourself 20% off literally everything, man. So make sure you guys take advantage of that immediately. That will end Monday at 12 noon. So jump on that immediately. Off the Script Retro is coming. Sorry for the delay. I've had so much shit going on here. It is coming, I promise you. 1992 SummerSlam. It'll be up this weekend. IRW.net. Make sure you guys go over there and subscribe. They're still having paywall issues. So if you guys are over there right now, for at least just a little bit longer, you're going to get everything for free. So if you guys want to go listen to it over there, you can. If you guys want to sign up for the Patreon to listen to it, you can. Because it's not going to be free for too much longer over there. So it's IRW.net. Make sure you guys go over there and take advantage of that as well. Twitch, like I said, twitch.tv/JDFROMNY or JD from New York. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and my 2K17 videos and Off the Script Extra are live on the channel right now. Patreon.com/off. Actually, no, I got so many fucking links. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you guys want to support that way, $3 a month will get you Off the Script Retro, early access to Off the Script every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and access to my Discord chat and shout-outs every single week right here on Off the Script. Audible is still offering everybody that listens to this show, all new listeners that listen to Off the Script, 30 days free to try their service out with one free audiobook of your choice. That's audibletrial.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys take advantage of that. Absolutely free. Go through the sign-up process. Pick your free book, compatible with iPhone and Android devices. A lot of people who signed up have told me they are enjoying right now, which is the hottest book right now, according to the wrestling community, the Justin Roberts audiobook, which is now available on Audible Trial, audibletrial.com/offthescript. And then, again, barbershopwindow.com/offthescript for your t-shirts. Use the code AMERICA for 20% off. Thank you guys for all that. We are going to get into the Patreon shout-outs. We're going to get into the subscriber stories. And then we're going to hit some Great Balls of Fire news and rumors. And then we're going to go over the entire match card for this Sunday's pay-per-view, man. So I'll see you guys in a little bit with subscriber stories, shout-outs for Patreon, and so much more right here on Off the Script. Big thank you to everybody that pledged via the Patreon page this week. Francis pledging $10. We have Bellavita718 raising her pledge from $2 to $3. Now she has access to OTS Retro. Michael Kraft pledging $3. We have Josh Smith pledging $3. Beyondy Nillum pledging $3. And Chris Carlin pledging $3. Thank you to those people who pledged this week via the Patreon page. If you guys want to make a pledge to get access to Off the Script Retro, early access to Off the Script every single weekend, and exclusive rights to my Discord Off the Script chat, it is patreon.com/JDFromNY206. Thank you guys so very much so far for your pledges in the first week of July. Shoutouts are done. Let's get into the sub-stories, man. Subscriber stories is a big part of Off the Script. If you guys want to send in whatever you want, man, you guys want to share a story that's close to your heart, you guys want to send in something about how you love Off the Script, you guys can certainly do so, man. All you got to do is email me, jdfromny206@yahoo.com. Please include your name and where you are from, and you might be having your story read on Off the Script each and every Friday. We're going to start off with this one, man. This one came in to me tonight, actually, right before I recorded. This one is from Deborah Peterson. And this was sent to me at 7:34 p.m. on Thursday. And she does indeed want me to read this on off the script. She says, "Hi, JD. I've been debating for a while about writing you, and today just became the day. First off, let me say that you are a member of my family. I feel like you are my son. You would be the youngest, I'm sure, but nonetheless, you are like a son to me." Deborah, I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a lifelong wrestling fan, and since I'll be 65 next month, that's a lot of years. Some of my earliest memories are going to Friday Night Wrestling in Portland, Oregon, many, many years ago, when it was held downtown in the old Portland Armory. I would go with my grandparents, and one of the things I remembered the most is a wrestler by the name of Haru Sasaki, who once held the door of the arena for my grandmother. He bowed as she and I went through. Fast forward about 20 years, and I met him again, and he was working at a car dealership here in Portland. At that time, Portland Wrestling was held at a building that was a flea market the rest of the time. There I watched such wrestlers as Jimmy Snuka, Kurt Hennig, and Roddy Piper when they first broke into the business. Fast forward again until today, I watch WWE, New Japan, Lucha Underground, and NXT. I watch all of it on my computer. I watch so much wrestling because there is not much else to do right now. My health has been declining for several years, but in the past few years, it's gotten worse. I have several major things that I'm dealing with, most notably kidney failure and osteoporosis, I believe she says. The funny thing is they were both caused by one of the medications that I take, and I have to take it. If I don't take it, I can't eat, which is never good. There are a number of other things that I have to deal with medically, way too many to list, and that's not why I am writing you anyway. Recently, the osteoporosis had progressed to the point where my bones break very easily, especially in the lower half of my body. I had surgery a week ago to repair my right lower leg and ankle. 2 months ago, I broke both femurs right above my knees. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have you to listen to. I'm stuck in my room with my computer and my cat for company most of the time. I do have a daughter and a son who live near me, and great-grandchildren whom I adore, but I don't really live close to them. They live in the suburbs, and I live in the city. I can count on you, though, to be there nearly every day with your honesty, your humor, and views on wrestling, which I find myself agreeing with most of the time. Before I broke my leg this last time, I was going to my son's every weekend to stay with his kids while he works. That came to a screeching halt this month as he and his wife split up, and she took my grandkids. The last weekend that I saw them is the weekend that I broke my leg this time. I fell trying to get to my walker into the house there. I knew immediately that I had broken it, but spent that night trying to convince myself that I had only sprained it, but I knew better. I went to the hospital the next evening, and sure enough, it was broken. It was a week before I could see a doctor, and he was on vacation. They had to squeeze me in for an appointment, and he just shook his head and told me he was going to operate in 3 days, and so he did. And so here I sit in front of the computer. I've been considering writing to you for a while, and today is that day. Please, JD, don't let the goons at YouTube or anything else discourage you from doing what you do. Your humor and insight cheer me up when I'm at my lowest and never fail to bring a smile to my face. Your Kevin Dunn, Vince McMahon impressions are timeless. Never stop doing them, please. I didn't mean to ramble on for so long, which you're not. But I want to let you know that you have a fan for life here in Portland. If you like beer, you should visit here. There are something like 15 craft breweries here and more scattered around our beautiful state. You take care, and know that I'm here every day on YouTube, and I subscribe to you on the IRWNetwork, and I am also a Patreon. I wish I could give you more, but it is what it is. As my oldest granddaughter would say, much love coming your way. Sincerely, Debbie. Debbie, I appreciate everything that you said. I will be here every day for you. I appreciate the kind words where you mentioned that I am a member of your family. I certainly will do my best to make you feel good every day. Thank you for the support on IRW. Thank you for the support on YouTube. Thank you for being a member of my team on Patreon. Though I don't necessarily say you guys have to sign up for the Patreon, it's up to you guys to do so. It's emails like this and statements like, you know, JD, you're a member of my family. I consider you one of my kids. I mean, that's worth more to me than any pledge on Patreon. It really is. Because, you know, when I first started this show and I first started doing this, I didn't think in my wildest dreams I would ever impact anybody with the way that I do things. I'm just a fan like you. I watch Lucha. I'm going to start getting into New Japan. I watch WWE. I love NXT. We're all fans, and we're all family. And everybody that listens to me on this show, whether you hate me, whether you love me, whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me, we're all a fucking family here. And I appreciate everything that you said. I sincerely hope that you get better and that your health gets better slowly but surely. My Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon impressions are not going anywhere. As long as there's bullshit to be fucking called out, I will be doing the Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn impressions. Ooh, your great balls of fire. I don't like fire because it burns the wood. Whatever. Whatever, man. I got a news article about why. I actually got a news article about why Vince McMahon came up with the pay-per-view name Great Balls of Fire. You're not going to believe this. It's just the senile attitude of Vince McMahon, man. I read it, I laughed, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. But the Kevin Dunn, Vince McMahon impressions are not going anywhere. I will be here as long as there's wrestling to be talked about, and I will continue to put a smile on your face. I will do the very best that I can. Deborah, thank you so very much, and I hope that your illnesses and I hope that your health start getting better and better each and every day, and I will be here for you. Don't worry about that. Thank you so very much. Moving on with the next story, man. We are going to hit up, see who we got here. We have Anthony. We got Anthony, and he's coming. Actually, this is a short one. This is actually, I don't even know if this is a subscriber story. Anthony says, and he's writing in from Utah. You got a cool YouTube channel. I've given up on WWE 2K17. It's full of bugs and glitches, and apparently it doesn't like me doing Elimination Chamber tag team matches. Or Elimination tag team matches. It always does the error thing at the last opponent. I was doing AJ Styles, Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens, and Retro Chris Jericho and Wolfman from the 1950s version of Wolfman. I've never seen the movie, though. I have also created you on it, and you are currently NXT champion. Yeah. Your rivals are Roman Reigns, of course. Grimm's Toy Show, of course. That fucking asshole, Grimm. I know he's scared. He's making fun of my buddy TJ Marconi, I see. That motherfucker. You know, TJ Marconi wrestles for House of Glory. I gotta talk to Marconi next time I see him. I'm like, bro, you need help with Grimm? I got you, bro. I got you. Don't worry about it. All we gotta do is lure him with some fucking Burger King into the fucking woods, and then we'll fucking kick his ass. Bailey and The Big Show. It's a nice rivalry list there, man. I hate every fucking one of them. I don't hate Grimm. I actually like Grimm. He goes on, I don't know if I'm allowed to send you 2 emails, but I would have wrote this in my last email. I just didn't want it to be too long, and I wanted to try and make sense. Anyways, I've been watching the channel since somewhere around January. You're Kevin Dunn. Nakamura. Excuse the voice. That's what happens when I have to yell about Roman Reigns. Kevin Dunn voice is quite hilarious. And we think we can all agree on that. And you should do another Kevin Dunn Raw review someday or have him interrupt you while you're doing one of your Raw reviews. Whatever. Anyway, thank you, Anthony. I greatly appreciate it, bro. You are awesome. And let me know if I end up losing that NXT Championship. As long as I don't lose it to fucking Grimm, I should be okay. Anthony, thank you so much for the subscriber story. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. We're going to read two more here, man. We're going to read two more. This one's coming from Andrew, and this is a decent one. This is titled, Sub-Story from a Fucking British Goon. You guys are fucking crazy, man. Hey, JD, I'm writing to you all the way from the UK, from a tiny little shithole town called Bishop Auckland, not too far from Newcastle upon Tyne, home of the WCPW boys. Adam, what's going on, bro? Adam Blumpier. Why am I writing to you, bro? Slaps head. Here's why!
My question straight away is why? Why would we do this? Why would we want to do this? It's a terrible idea and it shouldn't happen. Why? Again? Here's why.
Yes. Yes. He actually mentions Simon there. And he says, yes, I am bald. I had to throw it in there, bro. I had to do it. Anyway, I am 36 years old. And I've been a WWE fan for as long as I can remember. Like most people, I've had some rough times, but no matter what, I've always had wrestling to get me through. Like watching Hulk Hogan, and I'm sorry I'm laughing, it's just Simon's a fucking goon. I like Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior and these other big sweaty guys beat the shit out of each other with some kind of security blanket. Other people thought I was weird for liking wrestling. I didn't give a fuck. Now, however, for the first time, I do give a fuck because I'm embarrassed to consider myself a WWE fan. I think we all are. And have recently stopped watching Raw and SmackDown. I'd rather just catch the highlights on YouTube and then listen to your always awesome reviews. Thank you so much, man. I've been listening to you for several months now, and strange as it sounds, Off the Script has replaced WWE as my security blanket. I hit my subscribe button every day, although I never get a notification. I'm sure I don't have any ad blockers or anything on, and convinced the only reason I don't get notifications is because YouTube fucking sucks. You are indeed right, Mr. Andrew. If you read this on your show, brother, it would be an honor, but no problem if you don't. It's all good anyway. Here goes. I was born in 1981. Never knew my real dad as he cheated on my mother when she was pregnant with me, and she left him. She also had my brother John, 2 years old at the time. She moved back home, where I was basically raised by my grandparents, whom I adored. We were poor as fuck, living on a rundown estate in a shitty farming village, but we did okay. When I was 5 years old, my mother married a guy called David, whom I called Dad, because he has brought me up as a son, and I won't disrespect him by calling him stepdad. He ain't no fucking stepdad, bro. He is my dad. Fuck the other sperm donor I never knew, my biological father. As I grew, I never got a card or anything off him, no contact. Anyway, fuck him. Whatever. So I had a typical life. Never let the daddy issues bother me. My brother was always there for me regardless. Loved my brother like a motherfucker. John got me through some dark times when I was 6. My grandmother died and it tore up our family. I remember knowing that at the time I worshiped my grandfather more than anybody else. I couldn't process it, but nobody can at such a young age. Life had to go on, and it did. But I felt scared a lot of the time, scared and alone. But John was there, and even when he was beating me up, he was the best brother in the world. When I was 9 years old, he told me he was going to watch a video, and I could watch it with him if I wanted to. Turned out to be the 1989 Royal Rumble, and it wasn't even the opening matches, just recording of the Rumble itself. And it started with some guy called the Fink standing in the Orlando arena laying down rules about wrestlers, and I'm like, what the fuck are wrestlers? And then this $1 million man, Ted DiBiase, comes out, then some guy called Coco Beware, and they start fucking fighting. This is the moment I fell in love with wrestling. I consumed every WWF video I could find, every WrestleMania, every SummerSlam, every Survivor Series. We had a friend who would record episodes of Superstars of Wrestling and Wrestling Challenge for us to watch. In the very beginning, as a dumb kid, I was drawn to the people like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the Texas Tornado, and the Legion of Doom. I love the Rockers, I love Demolition, and the Hart Foundation. I fucking hated Hulk Hogan. Didn't really care for what he was doing during the 90s. I preferred wrestlers such as Macho Man Randy Savage, Shawn Michaels, and the Hitman. I lived through the Attitude Era, the John Cena era of stagnation, the current ridiculous bullshit era. I've seen it all. Wrestling has never been as shit as it is now. I mentioned dark times. During my teenage years, I got fat. I was also a redhead. So was my buddy Foxman, but he's gay. So don't worry about that, bro. Don't worry about that. And Foxman, I'm coming for you, you fucking loser, okay? You think Redwood was bad? Wait till I get you in World War II, you motherfucker. Constantly talk shit. Anyway, moving on. I was bullied at school. As I get older, I began to realize that I didn't have many friends. My family was too busy to notice me. And my brother was spending more time with his friends away from the house. Didn't really have time for me anymore. I was basically left to do what I wanted to do. It was lonely. It was rough. But I always had wrestling. It took me away from my life. That and writing. I wrote novels, and I've continued to write to this very day, although I've never been lucky enough to get published. When I left school, I went straight into work, and suddenly I was making money. I also got a bar job. My life became a roller coaster of alcohol, drugs, partying, and scrapping myself through a long shift in a food store, stocking shelves, and hating everything about myself. I turned things around a little when I met a girl and got married, but it only lasted 8 months. Then I was divorced. Then I was at rock bottom. I was nothing but a failed writer and suffered depression for years. I had a heart attack at 28 and told I was diabetic soon after. Things were shit. But I turned my life around, brother. I got healthy. I got fit. I quit the booze. I don't do drugs. Pretty straight edge, bro. I've been with a good woman for just over 10 years now, and we have 2 wonderful kids, a boy and a girl. Being a dad gave me a reason to live again. Joshua and Naomi love to shout, "John Cena sucks," whenever I mention wrestling. Although I don't hate Cena as much as I used to. I seem to have transferred all that hate onto Roman Reigns instead. I think a lot of people are in the same boat. That's why I said a lot of people should really respect John Cena for what he's become. He's become a leader, and every time he's on the show, you feel the importance that he brings to a feud and a fight. That's just me. I don't know how people feel, but you'll still get the ignorant fucking idiots who say he sucks. Why does he suck? Because you can't let go of the fucking past. It's Roman Reigns that we have to fucking hate now because of the way he's booked, not John Cena. Like Justin LaBar said, it's more of a wrestling chant now. You know, this John Cena hatred is more like a fucking a wrestling cheer now. You know, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. That hatred should not be spread to John Cena anymore. Now we got Roman Reigns in that, and you're absolutely correct onto that. I stopped watching wrestling around the time Goldberg came back to challenge Brock. I was fed up with the garbage at that point. WWE suffered massively with the loss of CM Punk and then Daniel Bryan. I absolutely agree. I began only to watch highlights on YouTube. This was in January, and I stumbled across an off-the-script video. I've been hooked ever since. I love the way you review this shit, JD, and I just wanted you to know that your show means so much to me. When I'm down or having a bad day, I can guarantee that hearing your voice will make me smile. Your Kevin Dunn impersonations have me bad laughing, and of course, you also know your shit. I find myself agreeing with all your booking ideas, and I feel like nobody gets wrestling the way that you do. They should fire Kevin Dunn and hire you, man. I agree. But thank you. I might start watching that shit again. As a frustrated fan, I just want to watch some decent wrestling built on decent storytelling. Is that too much to ask? When it comes to Vince McMahon, I guess it is. Recently, I went through a hard time, man. I felt like my relationship was ending and that I might lose my kids. I fell behind on paying my rent. I lost my job. Days were hard. My dad, David, also had a heart attack. He's still alive, but he's not the same guy. And I heard the other guy, the sperm donor, died without ever meeting me. So my daddy issues will never be resolved. I was pretty low, man, and still get that way sometimes. Some days I wake up and I think I might not be able to get out of bed. I feel so fucking low. On those days, I listen to you and your voice gets me through. Off the script is like morphine for the soul, JD. And I think I need it like a junkie. Never stop doing what you do, my friend. I think the world needs you. I'll finish now. Sorry for making this a long one, but I love listening to your sub-stories, and I think, being a writer, this is something that I needed to do. Thank you, JD, for what you do. It helps people. It gets people through. And right now I'm going through a spell of unemployment, which is making things hard, so I can't afford to donate to your channel. Don't worry. But I want you to know that Off the Script will always be that thing that gets me through the dark times. Keep up the good work, brother. Peace and love. Andrew Chambers, a goon for life. Don't worry about the donations to the Patreon, man. Just get yourself right. Get yourself a decent job. Support your family. I'll always be here. I'm not going anywhere at all. That was a lot to take in. I do agree with a lot of your points. CM Punk and Daniel Bryan leaving the WWE, or CM Punk leaving the WWE and Daniel Bryan being forced to retire, which I still think there's some bullshit behind it. You're not going to convince me otherwise. Those were two massive hits to the WWE. Daniel Bryan, to me, if he was not hurt, he would have been the face of the WWE, no question. Instead of Roman Reigns or John Cena, he would have been the one to take John Cena's spot. CM Punk was just disrespected greatly. How he never got a WrestleMania main event is just fucking ludicrous to me. But, you know, the one thing that stuck out to me, man, is that you say you listen to me and my voice gets you through. And that Off the Script is morphine for the soul, and that you need it like a junkie. I'm never going to stop doing what I'm doing, man. I'm just like you. I'm a fucking fan, and I appreciate people like you who are supporting this show each and every week. It means more to me than any Patreon. It means more to me than any donation on Twitch. Just get yourself right, brother, and I appreciate everything, man. And the words that you put in this sub-story were beautiful, man. I really don't know what to say. You're not a goon. People like you are not goons. Goons are reserved for the guys like that. But you're not a goon, man. You're a family member of this fucking channel. You're a team member of Team JD. So I wouldn't call you a goon, man. So thank you so much for everything, and I hope that you get a decent paying job. I hope that your unemployment spell is quickly coming to an end. I know how that feels. You know, I know how it feels to be down in the dumps. I know how it is to just seek something to make you feel better temporarily. You know, I've been through that all, man. But, you know, I wish you the best. I hope everything ends up well with your family. And keep us updated, man. I really love hearing the follow-ups to these things. If anything breaks through for you, if anything comes in a positive light, email me. I'd love to read your follow-up here on the channel for sub-stories. Just keep me posted, man, and we're all here for you. Thank you so much, Andrew. I greatly appreciate it. One more, guys. We're going to read one more here before we get into the Great Balls of Fire predictions. This one is coming from Josh. And Josh is writing at 10 o'clock on July 2nd. This is what he says. Just want to say thank you, and you are the reason why I am becoming a pro wrestler. I'm 17, and this isn't actually about my plans on becoming a pro wrestler, but my idea on how to book Nakamura versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. Hope you enjoy this. So it starts off where at SummerSlam, AJ, Mike Kanellis, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens fight in a fatal four-way for the U.S. title. And Shinsuke faces Baron Corbin for the Money in the Bank briefcase, wins, and so does Sami Zayn. At Survivor Series, AJ and Nakamura are on the same team, but tension is there. Now, I'll switch over to where it gets interesting. Royal Rumble, where I could have Shinsuke face John Cena. Winner enters the Royal Rumble. Nakamura wins, so now we have the Royal Rumble match. AJ can enter wherever, but he has to come out before Shinsuke. I would have AJ be the last guy, and then countdown to 30 happens, and of course Nakamura is it. That way we can have that great one-on-one encounter. AJ wins, and we'll go to WrestleMania. Last time I had a great one-on-one encounter like that I really enjoyed, it was 2007, I believe. It was The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, where they lasted like an extra 15 to 20 minutes. Just them in the end of that Royal Rumble, and The Undertaker ended up winning. One of the best Royal Rumble endings ever. Ever. So that would really be reminiscent of that if AJ and Nakamura had a one-on-one showdown to close the Royal Rumble. By the way, sorry, this is long, but let's get to the Elimination Chamber. where Cena will win the WWE title, break Flair's record, and there will be a huge celebration for him, but then the lights turn off, and the violinist from TakeOver Chicago comes out and starts playing because Nakamura is about to come out. Shinsuke can do this because he's the most confident guy in the world, and he knows he can beat Cena, and he does once again. AJ comes out, and they stare at each other. They stare down, both look up at the same time at the WrestleMania sign, and I hope you like my idea that, books Nakamura and AJ Styles. I would love to see that happen. You're awesome, and I hope you get your podcast on a radio station. Sincerely, a fucking goon named Josh who loves chicken sandwiches.
So, Josh loves that Samoa Joe chicken sandwich diet. Samoa Joe and his chicken sandwiches. But no mayo. No mayo for Samoa Joe.
Whatever, man. Anyway, I would go about it a different way. I appreciate your creativity, and I wish you the best on being a pro wrestler. And I can't do the fucking Kevin Dunn laugh, because I got a strained voice from doing House of Glory still, and then the 2K Dream matches, and then yelling in yesterday's Off the Script Extra video about Roman Reigns. But I wish you the best on being a pro wrestler, number one. I would go about it in a different way. I would book it a lot simpler than you, bro. I would. I would keep AJ and Shinsuke Nakamura away from each other for the rest of the year. I wouldn't even bother. They already teased us at Money in the Bank. I wouldn't even bother after that. Yes, it was a nice tease. Yes, it was a nice showdown. But I would keep them away from each other for the remainder of the year. I would actually book John Cena and Nakamura at SummerSlam, and I've been pushing for that for months. I've been pushing for that before Money in the Bank. I would do that if they don't go with Cena, Jinder Mahal. But I would have Baron Corbin win the WWE Championship by cashing in on a downed John Cena. I would have Baron Corbin be the WWE Champion for the remainder of the year. He eventually loses it in December to AJ Styles. AJ Styles takes it into the Royal Rumble, where Nakamura would win the Royal Rumble. AJ Styles would beat whomever he fights for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. And then you would pretty much know that AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura are going to be battling one-on-one at WrestleMania 34 in the main event for the WWE Championship. I would go about it in a different way. But I appreciate your creativity, and I thank you for writing in. And you are not a goon, but I do love chicken sandwiches myself. So thank you so much, Josh, for your subscriber story. And thank you to everybody that has sent in subscriber stories here on Off the Script. Now we're going to talk about Great Balls of Fire. Now we're going to hear a word from, of course, the broken one, Matt Hardy. And we're going to talk pay-per-view this Sunday. Joe, Lesnar, Reigns, Strowman. Great Balls of Fire predictions right here on Off the Script.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Broken Matt Hardy. This is JD from New York. Actually, delete to JD from New York. I have cleaned this vessel. Make sure to check out his wonderful show, Off the Script. It's absolutely delightful.
There's no better way to open this Great Balls of Fire predictions video than to give you the actual reason why this pay-per-view even became a thing. Everybody wants to know, where the hell did WWE get the name for this pay-per-view, with the rumor now that it's actually going to become an annual event. We can poke fun, and I could make little skits here on the show about Vince McMahon having a barbecue and Kevin Dunn grilling some burgers over some nice mesquite wood chips. And Great Balls of Fire by Jerry Lee Lewis comes on the radio, and Vince McMahon's laying in the pool with a fucking mojito in his hand, and he's thinking about Roman Reigns. And Kevin Dunn throws out the idea, "Ooh, Vince, what about Great Balls of Fire?" And then, "Oh, Dunn, you did it again." We can all joke about that. But there is a legit reason. There's actually a legit reason why this pay-per-view became a WWE pay-per-view. Now, it certainly got a lot of people talking over the last month or so. Ever since the name was announced, there has been plenty of jokes made about this pay-per-view, including everybody poking fun at the logo of the pay-per-view being very reminiscent of cock and balls. Yes, indeed. there are plenty of fans that didn't think it was a real thing. So why did Vince McMahon actually name one of his pay-per-views Great Balls of Fire? Here's the answer. Kurt Angle was interviewed by the Dallas Observer prior to this event. He was asked the $1 million question, and kudos to whoever asked Kurt Angle this question. What is the story behind the name of Great Balls of Fire? Turns out that the name was chosen simply because it made Vince McMahon laugh. There you go. How do you get ahead in WWE? How do you get one of your ideas to be a WWE pay-per-view? Throw out a name, hope Vince McMahon laughs, and you got a damn good shot. Kind of pathetic, isn't it? I think so. This is what Kurt Angle said in the interview, and I quote, "That's a pretty incredible name for a wrestling show, isn't it?" The head honcho, Vince McMahon, thought that the name was hilarious. And that's pretty much the entire story. You never know when it comes to Vince, but he's usually right, so we trust him. Vince loves the name, so I expect it to become an annual event. Not only does Vince think the name is hilarious, he plans on making this an actual annual event. Vince McMahon might be the most interesting man on the planet. There you go. You guys want to know why you're watching a pay-per-view on Sunday night on the WWE Network named Great Balls of Fire? That's your reason. It made Vince McMahon laugh. I'm laughing too at the WWE fucking product. I don't need a pay-per-view name to make me laugh. Anyway, that's that. I figured I'd start the preview and predictions off with that story. We do have a card of 8 matches, and we do have news and rumors correlating with Great Balls of Fire. I got news on Brock Lesnar. I got news on what he thinks about wrestling Samoa Joe. I got news on Samoa Joe, what he thinks about wrestling Brock Lesnar. I got a ton of stuff here that we're going to go over. News on Finn Balor on why he's not even booked for the show. I'm looking at the match card right now, and there's 8 matches, and we don't have a Finn Balor match on this show. Now, one of these 8 matches is a pre-show match. It's Neville versus Accurate Ozawa for the Cruiserweight Championship. They actually made that the pre-show match. I figured that they would make Goldust versus R-Truth the pre-show match, but WWE, again, just belittling the Cruiserweight Championship. So there's 8 matches on this show, including the pre-show match, and there is no Finn Balor match, which they have been teasing a Finn Balor match with the Drifter, Elias Sampson. So we don't have any of that on this show. I'm assuming they're going to have a part in this show. They might have a segment on this show. They might actually have an impromptu match on this show. The only thing that I worry about with this is Finn Balor not having a match with Elias Sampson on this show, and that they actually save the match with Elias Sampson for SummerSlam. What a tale of two cities that would be, huh? Finn Balor challenging Seth Rollins for the first ever the Universal Championship. Finn Balor challenging Seth Rollins in the main event of SummerSlam last year. Only this year, you turn around and he's wrestling Elias Sampson on an undercard match. You know? I know Finn Balor right now is somewhat in limbo, but how can't you book this guy in a meaningful storyline when he's one of your top-tier talents on Monday Night Raw? I don't get that. You know, I understand that not everybody can have a top spot on the show, but for somebody who was so deep into your Universal Championship plans, now he comes back from injury and they've done absolutely nothing with him. Nothing with him. The only thing that Finn Balor has even done remotely close to being important was stand in the ring with Paul Heyman and challenge Brock Lesnar for a future Universal Championship match, which now those plans have pretty much changed according to Bill Body of Sportskeeda, which we went over last night on Off the Script Extra, and I will reiterate it again this afternoon or this morning for Off the Script when we talk about the main event. Everything's changed. Constant change in the WWE. But with Finn Balor, there are already 8 matches confirmed for the show, which I already talked about. And there are still notable absences from the card. This includes former Universal Champion Finn Balor, who doesn't even have a scheduled match for the event. Balor has been involved in a small feud with the Drifter, Elias Sampson, for the past few weeks, but no match has officially been announced. There are some rumors circulating that suggest Balor will start or will be a part of the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view in some form. It is unclear if the WWE will do a Balor versus Sampson match at the event or if it will just be another segment between the two. It is more likely that we will see something between the two on Sunday to continue the feud. Whatever the hell they're fighting over, it's of no importance. There's nothing really there for the fans to invest in a feud between Elias Sampson and the Drifter. What happened? The Drifter interfered in a tag team match, or Finn Balor interrupted his guitar playing in the ring. Come on, bro. Is that what we're building feuds on now? That's what I'm supposed to be investing my time in? Finn Balor interrupting Elias Sampson's acoustic set on Monday Night Raw? There's nothing there. It's childish. It's something clear and cut that was put together in a few minutes because they had nothing for either man to do. And it's sad. It really is sad. At Extreme Rules, we saw Elias Sampson play his guitar in the middle of the ring. If no match is announced over the next few days, we have to guess that this will happen again on Sunday with Balor interrupting. Take all these rumors with a grain of salt as always. Seems likely that WWE will find a way to fit Balor onto the show on Sunday in some way. So, Balor right now not on the show. Elias Sampson not on the show. The only thing that I am worried about is that this will take them into SummerSlam. And like I said, Balor challenging for the Universal Championship last year to turn around this year and have a much, much more minimized role for WWE on Monday Night Raw. Now, with the 8 matches that are on the show for Great Balls of Fire, there are rumors going around on the length of some of the matches that will take place on Sunday. Now, as of this writing, like I said, there are 8 matches that have been officially announced for the event. Accurate Ozawa and Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship has been announced for the kickoff show. That leaves 7 matches for the main show. But you got to take into consideration, if you're even thinking about adding a Balor versus a Sampson, that's 8 matches to the main show with the Cruiserweight Championship in the pre-show, making 9 matches total for the entire night. But people seem to be overlooking one thing. There is a 30-minute Iron Man match with the Tag Team Championships being on the line. So that is going to take at least 35 minutes in itself with the introductions of both teams. WWE announced this week the Hardys versus Sheamus and Cesaro will be a 30-minute Iron Man match for the Raw Tag Team Championships. There are some rumors floating around that the inclusion of this Iron Man match will mean that some matches on the card Sunday will be cut short of time. If this is true, this could indicate that there will be at least 1 or 2 matches that will go very quickly on Sunday night. The leading candidate to go under a few minutes is probably the match between Enzo Amore and Big Cass. That match has squash written all over it. Let's hope WWE doesn't cut any time at all from the main event of Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe. If there's one match that needs to be given all the time in the world to do what it needs to do, it is that. This is a match that has a potential to be a fucking war, a bloodbath. We will have to wait and see what happens and if any matches really do get cut short. But Enzo Amore and Big Cass for sure, I think that's the one match that could go a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops. 3 minutes tops. You got Sheamus and Cesaro versus the Hardys for the 30-minute Iron Man match, Raw Tag Team titles. You got The Miz and Dean Ambrose. I can't imagine that doing any more than 10 minutes. We've seen it already. They had a decent match at Extreme Rules with somewhat of an intriguing ending there with a no DQ finish, right? But, or with the disqualification finish anyway. If someone got disqualified, they'd lose the title. I can't see that going anymore. I don't know what more these guys can do. Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks. You give them, 10 to 12 minutes. And then you got Rollins and Wyatt. Nobody gives a shit about that. Nobody gives a shit about that. Why are they even fighting? Why are these men even fighting on Sunday night? 10 minutes. 10 minutes tops. 10 to 12 minutes there for that match still. Nobody cares. And that's something that I see WWE not having anything to do with either man, again, bleeding on into SummerSlam. And it's a shame. You got Balor and Rollins at the top of their game going into SummerSlam last year, and then you look at it this year, Balor with Elias Sampson and Rollins with Wyatt. Both men in absolutely meaningless feuds in 2017 this summer. Ridiculous. Anyway, that's the news on Great Balls of Fire right now. With the betting odds are already shaping up in Vegas. Bet Wrestling has recently posted that WWE Great Balls of Fire and the betting odds right now are coming in, and the early favorites to win each match are as follows. We got Brock Lesnar at minus 1667 versus Samoa Joe, who's a plus 700. We got the Raw Women's Championship right now. Alexa Bliss, the champion, at minus 278 versus Sasha Banks, who's a plus 170. Intercontinental title, The Miz is at a minus 278. Dean Ambrose is at a plus 170. Raw Tag Team Championship right now. You got the champions, Sheamus and Cesaro at plus 125. Matt and Jeff Hardy at a minus 189. We got Roman Reigns, 137 under to Braun Strowman, 100 plus. Rollins, 125 plus versus Wyatt, who is under 175. And then we got Enzo Amore, who is plus 175 versus Big Cass, who is minus 250. Some interesting odds there. I thought Big Cass would be a bigger favorite to win, but right now he probably is the favorite to win that. I don't see Enzo Amore getting one over on Big Cass, being that Big Cass right now is a favorite of Vince McMahon, and he's the money that WWE creative see, much more over Enzo Amore. But we will see what happens, man. We're going to go through the preview and predictions. We're going to go over all the matches right now with the storylines correlating to how we got here. We'll start off with Neville here. Neville versus Akira Tozawa. I say, man, the cruiserweights, I just don't care about anything with the cruiserweights whatsoever. You know, Titus O'Neil is attempting right now, or WWE is using Titus O'Neil to build intrigue for the cruiserweights on 205 Live, not really doing anything. You know, he's attempting to get Akira Tozawa to join his stable of wrestlers, the Titus brand, or what he's now calling Titus Worldwide. On Monday Night Raw, June 12th, Titus was advertised for Tozawa to see the benefits of associating himself with Titus Worldwide. He wanted him to witness Apollo Crews, another Titus Worldwide member, and the one who recommended Akira Tozawa. He defeated Kalisto. Then Titus tried to continue to recruit Tozawa the following night on 205 Live, so they're using Titus on 205 Live as well as on Monday Night Raw. And Akira Tozawa defeated TJ Perkins. WWE Cruiserweight Champion Neville then complained about being disrespected by Tozawa. Titus then responded that Tozawa could beat Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship. And on June 26th, Titus informed both Neville and Tozawa that he had negotiated a title match between the two at Great Balls of Fire. Titus then hyped the Cruiserweight Championship match. Neville interrupted and said that Titus was only concerned with making money and not the safety of his own clients, and demonstrated a beatdown of Apollo Crews received from Braun Strowman on the previous night's episode of Raw on 205 Live this week. The Cruiserweight Championship match now is set for the pre-show for Great Balls of Fire. I don't see Akira Tozawa doing anything with the Cruiserweight Championship. Neville right now is one of the most dominant heels on WWE's roster. He has shown no signs of letting up. He has shown no signs of losing. He's shown no signs of even remotely giving up that championship to anybody. 205 Live has not produced anybody in a babyface role to take the title off of Neville and make it believable. Akira Tozawa, though he might be mildly entertaining, and I use that very loosely, mildly entertaining, Akira Tozawa is not the one to take the Cruiserweight Championship off of Neville, and it's not going to happen. My pick, Neville retains the Cruiserweight Championship, And I don't know where they go with the Cruiserweight Championship after Neville defeats Akira Tozawa. Now, 205 Live is in a heap of fucking trouble. It's not getting any viewership on the WWE Network. WWE, I reported last weekend on Off the Script, they want to make some minor changes to 205 Live. And they think minor changes coming in the form of 205 Live getting a GM and putting somebody in a GM role is going to spice up the show. Putting anybody in a GM role on 205 Live is not going to do jack shit for the show. Just like WWE's plans of putting Titus O'Neil on the show and using a Sasha Banks on the show in mixed tag team form, teaming with Rich Swann. No. None of that stuff is going to work. None of that stuff is going to work. You need big names. You need big names for 205 Live. You need big names who are going to be able to stand toe-to-toe, face-to-face, and make it believable in their attempt to take the Cruiserweight Championship off of Neville. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen whatsoever. And right now, 205 Live has dug themselves, or I should say, let me rephrase that. WWE has dug a hole for 205 Live that it is not coming out of anytime soon. And they abandoned everything that was great about 205 Live coming out of the Cruiserweight Classic. And we are now almost a full year into 205 Live, and we haven't seen anything remotely close to what they presented with the Cruiserweight Classic. They're done. As far as I'm concerned, if I ain't watching, that means they are doing a shitty job at making me care at all about 205 Live. If 205 Live was important, I would end up watching it every Tuesday. I don't. That's how unimportant 205 Live is to me. When I mainly cover WWE content on this channel, NXT included, if 205 Live ain't cutting it and I ain't watching it, you know it's bad. Neville retains the title. He beats Akira Tozawa. Where they go into SummerSlam with Neville is beyond me, man. Your guess is as good as mine. It ain't going to be Tozawa, because Tozawa ain't going to get another rematch. He's one and done. Neville is too good. He's been on top of his game, and the Cruiserweight Championship right now, I don't see going anywhere but around Neville's waist. We have Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Hardys, Jeff and Matt Hardy. Now, I do have news on Matt and Jeff Hardy here as it pertains to the broken gimmick. And Matt has been tweeting. Matt has been very vocal about the broken gimmick. He did tweet that the Great War could potentially come to an end, and he thanked all the fans. Now, I don't know what's going on with the broken gimmick, but apparently some people are mentioning that the broken gimmick is nowhere near coming to WWE television, that it was all just Matt Hardy pretty much fanning the flames for the broken gimmick and it coming to Monday Night Raw. Now, there are rumors that it's not coming anytime soon, according to a new report from PW Insider via Cage Side Seats. The report suggests that broken Matt Hardy would soon be unleashed on the WWE Universe, and that may have been too optimistic, as the Hardys, Matt, Jeff, and Rebby are still nowhere close to reaching an agreement with Anthem Sports and Entertainment. This is based on feedback from the latest Impact Wrestling tapings, which took place this past Wednesday. This new tidbit from the rumor mill may explain the fact that Matt was still refraining from speaking in any exaggerated accent and was not using too many big words while on commentary for this week's Monday Night Raw match between Cesaro and Finn Balor. On a broader level, this could mean that the fans hoping to see the Broken Universe and make it official in WWE may have to wait a little bit longer before this even comes close to happening. Now, it was reported previously the signs of the broken Matt Hardy gimmick making its way to WWE months after Matt and Jeff returned to the company were in the air over the weekend, as Matt tweeted that he and his family were days away from winning their Great War, presumably referring to the legal battle with Anthem over the Broken Universe gimmicks. This was backed up by a report on the Wrestling Observer radio show with Brian Alvarez that suggested both sides were indeed having talks and that the Hardys and Anthem were real close to a settlement. Aside from the Hardys not being able to use their broken gimmicks due to legal issues with Anthem, Previous reports have suggested that WWE is not planning to have them regain the Raw Tag Team Championships. Several other sources noted that this is despite the likelihood that Sheamus, who co-holds the Raw Tag Team belts with Cesaro, may be taken off television to film the upcoming movie The Buddy Games with Josh Duhamel, who just a couple weeks ago said that he would be filming with Sheamus on this movie, and it was reported that Sheamus might be out up to 2 months. So I don't know what's going on here. I really don't know what's going on, but with all that news, at Extreme Rules, Sheamus and Cesaro defeated the Hardy Boys in a steel cage match, which I thought was absolutely preposterous. It was just a clusterfuck of a mess. They won the Raw Tag Team Championships. The Hardys invoked their championship rematch on Monday Night Raw on June 12th in a 2 out of 3 falls match, which that ended in a no contest after the deciding fall ended in a double countout to end the show. The following week, the Hardys then teamed with Finn Balor and defeated the team of Cesaro, Sheamus, and the Drifter Elias Sampson. On the July 3rd episode of Raw, Kurt Angle announced that the Hardy Boys would face Cesaro and Sheamus in one final match for the titles in a 30-minute Iron Man match at Great Balls of Fire. The Hardy Boys also joined on commentary for Balor's match against Cesaro, while Elias Sampson came out, tripped up Balor, while Sheamus distracted the referee. The Hardys then came down and pretty much got involved in that match, helping Finn Balor beat Cesaro on Monday Night Raw. This is what I think. This is what I think right now. Sheamus and Cesaro, champions, going into Great Balls of Fire. I'm going to go with the fact that Sheamus is going to do a movie, going to be out close to 2 months. I don't know where that leaves Cesaro for SummerSlam. You know, I don't know when the filming is. I don't know what's going on there. But if the filming happens anytime after Great Balls of Fire and Sheamus is going to be out 2 months, what is going to happen to Cesaro going into SummerSlam? That's my biggest question. Because Cesaro's too good to be left off the SummerSlam card. At all. The Hardy Boys. I'm going with the Hardys to regain the Raw Tag Team Championships. Do you want to know why? Because this is over and done with. This feud is over and done with after this pay-per-view. You got to think long term. Who do you see next in line to challenge for the Raw Tag Team Championships? There's really not much else. You got Gallows and Anderson? No. I don't see that being a deal for SummerSlam. Who else do you got? You got Rhino and Slater. They're not really much of a tag team right now anymore. You got the team of Golden Truth, which broke up. You got Enzo and Cass. They're broken up. The only other team left is the Revival. What is your money match? What is the only money match? What is the only match that we haven't seen? What is the only match that is fresh going into SummerSlam for the Raw Tag Team Championships in a very, very depleted division? It's the Hardys versus the Revival. You ain't going to do the Revival versus Cesaro and Sheamus. You're not going to do heel versus heel, right? Even though I love the Revival. But this is over and done with here. The Hardys, Matt and Jeff, are going to regain the Raw Tag Team Championships, and they're going to SummerSlam to defend those titles against the Revival. That's your SummerSlam Tag Team title match for Monday Night Raw. And at that point, and I predicted this months before anything even became of the broken gimmick, or talk of the broken gimmick. Once we seen Matt come out at WrestleMania without the broken gimmick, and they won the Tag Team Championships, my first thought was that the one team that would be perfect to break the Hardys and turn them broken would not be Sheamus and Cesaro. It would be the Revival. And we might, if a deal could be made, we could see the Revival be the team that breaks the Hardys to the point where Matt becomes broken and Jeff goes on his own. But then again, you have another team splitting away. You'd have Matt going on to do his own thing, and then you would have Jeff in a singles role, which would leave the Revival with nobody to defend the Tag Team Championships against. But there are rumors that WWE is already talking about another tournament. And all these teams breaking up, WWE's having a field day to just get everybody they want out of these tag teams and put them in a singles role. That's why we're seeing Enzo split from Cass. That's why, if the Hardys break up, Matt away from Jeff. That's why on SmackDown we're seeing Chad Gable split from Jason Jordan. You know? That's why the Colognes possibly were given their release. That's why we're already talking about the Hype Bros breaking up. Zack Ryder splitting from Mojo Rawley. WWE, and I will report this tomorrow on Off the Script, WWE is already planning, according to rumors, it's just a thought right now, because they still have the Mae Young Classic to get through, but WWE's loving their tournament ideas. There might be a tag team tournament for the WWE Network next year in 2018. That is something that gets my dick hard, bro. Seriously. And I mean that in all seriousness. That's the only logical reason why WWE is breaking up so many tag teams in 2017. This year is the year of WWE breaking up tag teams for no reason. Finally, that might be the reason that we have for WWE breaking up all these tag teams. They are thinking long term, and they're thinking about a tag team tournament for the network next year. So that's their way of replenishing their tag team divisions on the main roster and in NXT. So that is the rumor right now. But never mind all that. We'll discuss that tomorrow on Off the Script. Talking about Sunday. Sheamus and Cesaro defending the titles. Hardys are going to win the titles. Hardys are going to be your new Raw Tag Team Champions. And I think the Hardys are going on to SummerSlam to defend those titles against the top guys in the Revival. That is my prediction for the Tag Team Championships. The Miz with Maurice, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel in what they are calling the Miztourage, defending the Intercontinental Championship against Dean Ambrose, who to me, I am sick and tired of Dean Ambrose. I don't know how you guys are feeling about Dean Ambrose, but I am absolutely fucking bored to tears with Dean Ambrose. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, and if you guys have made it this far in the video, please let me know. Dean Ambrose, they call The Miz safe, right? You can see that The Miz is a safe worker. Nothing that he does really feels overly impressive. Nothing that The Miz does feels impactful. I mean, do you see the way he does those yes kicks? I mean, that is something that he needs to stop doing completely. He needs to stop doing that altogether, man. He makes a mockery, an embarrassment out of those yes kicks from Daniel Bryan. It's awful. They call it the it kicks or something like that. Whatever the case may be, it looks awful. Dean Ambrose is the same way. If you watched one Dean Ambrose match, if you watched one Dean Ambrose television match, it's the same fucking thing. He is so goddamn safe. Nothing Dean Ambrose does looks impactful whatsoever. And it's so fucking shitty to say, because Dean Ambrose has so much promise, or had so much promise, upon coming into the WWE and then splitting from the Shield. Dean Ambrose, to me, was going to be one of those guys that was going to be in a huge role in WWE. I thought Dean Ambrose could have been better than Roman Reigns, or have a more important role than Roman Reigns. Not looking like that at all. I think Dean Ambrose right now is the worst of all three Shield members. He is the most boring. And I don't like Roman Reigns, but, you can't deny the fact that Reigns and Strowman have had fucking great matches up until this point. And Reigns can carry his own in the ring. He's had great matches with pretty much everybody. AJ Styles, Bray Wyatt, Brock Lesnar. Dean Ambrose, I can't say the same thing about Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose has had good matches with The Miz. Dean Ambrose had a great match with AJ Styles, but, the reason why that match was so great was because there was a TLC stipulation involved. I can't remember the last time Dean Ambrose had a great one-on-one singles match of any importance. I can't. Dean Ambrose challenging for the Intercontinental Championship is just absolutely fucking stale to the point where I just don't give a shit anymore. I don't. At Extreme Rules, The Miz beat Dean Ambrose to win his 7th Intercontinental Championship. The following night on Raw, Ambrose wanted a rematch, but The Miz denied him that rematch. Later, Miz was given a celebration party by his wife Maurice, which consisted of champagne, a bear mascot, and a huge gift. Miz then attacked the mascot because he thought it was Dean Ambrose, which I thought was hilarious, because I thought it was Dean Ambrose too. And then just seeing The Miz give a skull-crushing finale to a fucking guy in a bear costume was absolutely hilarious to me. Miz also thought that Ambrose was hiding in the gift that Maurice got him. He knocked it over and then destroyed it. Maurice says that it was a grandfather clock and that he had always wanted one. And then Maurice was upset and left the ringside area. Miz then apologized to Maurice for destroying the clock and accidentally ruining her celebration. But then obviously Ambrose then revealed himself to be one of the cameramen in the ring, and he was pretty much there to attack The Miz and ruin the entire celebration once and for all. Then we finally got Ambrose and Miz again, who was attacked by two men dressed in bear costumes. Ambrose was attacked by two men dressed in bear costumes, revealed to be Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. Miz recruited these guys because they had nothing to do, right? They were two losers who stood by catering, waiting for their opportunity. Miz wanted them and invited them to be part of his entourage. So the following week on Raw, Ambrose teamed with Heath Slater and Rhino in a losing effort against the Miz-tourage. Miz then retained his title against Heath Slater this past week on Monday Night Raw. And Ambrose was granted a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship at Great Balls of Fire, according to Kurt Angle. I don't care about this feud whatsoever. No reason why they gave The Miz the Intercontinental Championship at Extreme Rules, only to have him lose it at Great Balls of Fire. I don't know where they go with this. I don't. But I'm going to make a prediction here. I'm going to make a prediction right now. Out of everybody that's on the Monday Night Raw roster, I don't see anybody right now on this card that could challenge The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. Where does The Miz go for the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam? Ambrose at this point, after this pay-per-view, is done. I don't see him getting any more opportunities. I don't even know where Ambrose fits into storylines after this. I don't know where The Miz fits into storylines after this. I'm trying to think. I really am trying to think. What I would propose here is I would, instead of doing the Elias Sampson match, okay, I would have this Elias Sampson match be a one and done at this pay-per-view. Put it on the show. Put it on the show. If it's not on the show and they don't do it on the show due to time constraints, then on Monday Night Raw, one and done. Okay? There's no reason why Finn Balor and Elias Sampson needs to be a pay-per-view match. When I look at SummerSlam, I don't see that match being a SummerSlam match. You want to load your SummerSlam card up with the best possible matches for your brand. Okay? And Elias Sampson and Finn Balor is not that match. Where does The Miz go for the Intercontinental Championship? I don't know. He's got no opponents left. The one opponent that I see challenging The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship is Finn Balor. Because I think Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt will continue on into SummerSlam for whatever ungodly reason. I don't know why. I see Finn Balor challenging The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. You know, being that Finn Balor is really not going to play a factor into the plans for the Universal Championship because you're going to have a pretty crowded spot at the top there. You got Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe now, and then you got Braun Strowman. Finn Balor's not going to fit into any of those plans right now. So what's the next best thing that you could do with Finn Balor? Finn Balor is going to be given a Universal Championship match eventually because he's due to have one. He never lost the title. He never got a one-on-one rematch for the title that he willingly had to give up due to injury. So what do you do with Finn Balor? Give him the next best thing. Give him the Intercontinental Championship. You know? The Miz, yeah, he looks great with the Intercontinental Championship, but the act that is The Miz with the championship, cheating to win every single time, the cowardly heel, you know, just getting into trouble and then fucking finding his way out of it due to help from Maurice or now Bo Dallas or Curtis Axel, it gets tiresome, man. It really does get tiresome. The Intercontinental Championship, to me, I was raised watching WWE with the Intercontinental Championship as being the fighting man's championship. You know, guys like Mr. Perfect, guys like Bret Hart, guys like Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, you know? I see Finn Balor as a fighting Intercontinental Champion, bringing the Intercontinental Championship back to somewhat of a prestige that we haven't seen in a very long time. I would love to see that. I would love to see the Intercontinental Championship being defended in the main event of Monday Night Raw. I'd love to see the Intercontinental Championship being defended at these shows in a prominent role. you know? And that would spawn new feuds. We could see Balor versus The Miz. We could see Balor versus Bray Wyatt for the Intercontinental Championship. We could see Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship. You know? You could get those guys right now who are not doing anything. Balor versus Elias Sampson. Imagine Elias Sampson beating a Finn Balor who is built up as the Intercontinental Champion. Imagine Elias Sampson beating a Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Championship. Having the title on Balor means more to Monday Night Raw than having the title on Miz. To me, The Miz, yeah, he's good. He's good at what he does. He's not as great as where he was on SmackDown, but he's good at what he does. But having the Intercontinental Championship on The Miz limits the amount of opponents to challenge for that Intercontinental Championship. I want to see the Intercontinental Championship put on a fighting babyface, and then you can have matches like I just mentioned. That's the way I see it. You know? I don't know what you guys think. Let me know what you think of that. But I think The Miz wins. I think The Miz beats Dean Ambrose, retains the title, and we go on to The Miz defending the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam in a losing effort to Finn Balor, and Finn Balor is the new Intercontinental Champion. That's the way I do it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Sound off in the comments below. Quickly here, Enzo Amore versus Big Cass. You guys know the deal with this. Enzo pretty much, is the odd man out here. They split Enzo and Big Cass for whatever reason. Even to this day, right before the pay-per-view, I don't know why they sped up this storyline and accelerated the split between Enzo and Cass. I thought they had so much left to prove as a tag team, but apparently WWE thinks otherwise. There was a series of attacks where Enzo was attacked 2 weeks in a row, and then Big Cass was attacked, and he was found laying in the back, and everybody was, who is attacking Enzo Amore? Who is attacking Big Cass? People thought it was the Revival. People thought it was the Big Show. So those were the two names, or the two entities, the three names, Dash, Dawson, and Big Show, that Kurt Angle confronted in the ring. Big Show was asked if he had any part of these attacks. He took offense to what Kurt Angle said and says that he would not compete on Raw again and left. This is what you think of our friendship, Kurt, right? The fact that you're trying to pin this on me. This is not what I expected from you, and he just walked out. So he walks off Monday Night Raw. Angle says that after talking to backstage officials, the Revival were even cleared from this attack because they had a lot of people vouch for them that they were not a part of these attacks. Corey Graves, then showed surveillance of Cass staging his own attack from the previous week, which was very sloppily done. You know, when we seen the actual attack on Monday Night Raw, Big Cass was covered in debris. He had beams and rods and steel all covering him. But when Corey Graves showed the footage, it was just Big Cass laying down in the back and none of the debris covering his body. So I don't understand why WWE so sloppily put this together. But regardless, the surveillance was shown to show that Big Cass staged his own attack from the previous week. Cass then admitted that he was behind the attacks on Enzo. Cass says that he was tired of Enzo and that it was because of him that they had never won Tag Team Championship Gold in the WWE. Cass says that they were done before kicking Enzo in the head. The following week, Enzo wanted Cass to come to the ring to talk things over. After a heartfelt speech of their friendship, Cass says that he was ashamed for himself and what he did. The two embraced in the ring, but on the stage, Cass then turned on Enzo again, and he picked him up and threw him down the ramp on Monday Night Raw stage. On the July 3rd episode, Enzo said that he would fight back, and the two brawled until Angle separated them and made a match between them at Great Balls of Fire. This one ends one way and one way only. Big Cass is going to demolish Enzo Amore. This is a no contest. Cass is going to win in under 5 minutes here. Cass is going to beat Enzo Amore. Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. This is something that I am mildly intrigued by because it's something new. It's something fresh. And it's not Bayley. Because I can't stand the sight of Bayley anymore. Extreme Rules, we all know what happened. Bayley retained the Raw Women's Championship, pretty much burying Bayley in 5 minutes. Kurt Angle then scheduled Bliss to defend the title against Nia Jax. Bliss says that she would give Nia Jax a shot at the title after she was through with Bayley. So Bliss won a match with Nia Jax by disqualification after getting Mickie James and Dana Brooke involved. On June 12th, Sasha Banks, Dana Brooke, and Mickie James defeated Bliss, Jax, and a returning Emma after Alexa Bliss abandoned her team. The following week, during a match between Jax and Sasha Banks, Emma again confronted Alexa Bliss, and a brawl broke out, which also involved Dana Brooke. I don't know why Dana Brooke's name is even involved in any of this shit. I really don't. Mickie James and Bayley, who came out to help Sasha Banks, her friend. So Angle then scheduled a 6-woman gauntlet match for June 26th, where the winner would face Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship at Great Balls of Fire. Jax dominated the match and eliminated Bayley, Mickie James, who has fallen from fucking grace since she's returned. My God. Dana Brooke, who is of fucking no importance whatsoever to anybody on this roster, this company. She's a waste. And Emma, who they're doing nothing with, which is a shame. So she ran through all of them. She ran through all of those women before being eliminated by Sasha Banks, who made her submit to the Banks statement. And that was something that I really enjoyed because it went 15 minutes. Nia Jax was in there for 30. She spent 15 on those other 4. She spent 15 with Sasha Banks. And Nia Jax really proved herself on Monday Night Raw a couple of weeks ago. Bliss then came out to confront Sasha Banks, but Sasha Banks attacked her, took the belt, and posed with it to end that particular episode of Monday Night Raw. This past week, Banks and Bayley teamed up to face Bliss and Jax after Banks made Bliss submit to the Bank statement. Now, I want you guys to be aware of that last piece of information. Sasha Banks made Alexa Bliss tap to the Bank statement. Sasha Banks beat Nia Jax in a 30-minute gauntlet women's match. Okay, so you got Sasha Banks having 2 positive weeks, 2 huge weeks before we get to Great Balls of Fire. Sasha Banks is not winning the title. This is not going to be one of those deals where you're just going to have Sasha Banks come out of nowhere and beat Alexa Bliss for the title. To me, I was hoping for a Bayley versus Sasha Banks heel versus babyface dynamic. And I mean heel in the form of Sasha Banks and a recovering babyface in Bayley, at SummerSlam. Too late for that now. Looks like Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks is going to be the way to go for WWE Raw going into SummerSlam. This is not going to be over after Great Balls of Fire. Alexa Bliss is going to win this match. She's going to retain the title because Sasha Banks had 2 huge weeks. She won a huge gauntlet match, and she made the women's champion submit on Monday Night Raw. Alexa Bliss is going to turn around at Great Balls of Fire and make Sasha Banks a loser on Sunday night. Alexa Bliss is going to retain the title. And then it's going to go on to SummerSlam, where we might see Nia Jax involved, and it could go either way. If Nia Jax competes at the same level that we've seen on Monday Night Raw in that gauntlet match, I would not be opposed to Nia Jax being the new Raw Women's Champion. I don't know how high WWE is on Sasha Banks. I know there are rumors that WWE and Vince McMahon in particular don't really necessarily have a lot of stock in Sasha Banks because she is too risky. She's injury prone. And I hear that almost every month when it comes to Sasha Banks. So I'm not really sure if WWE would be willing to give Sasha Banks the Raw Women's Championship. But if Nia Jax, and I don't want to see any more multi-person matches this year because, like I said, this year is the year of breaking up tag teams and multi-person matches. But if Nia Jax continues to perform at the same level we've seen in that gauntlet match, and she does, by chance, get added to that Women's Championship match at SummerSlam, making it a triple threat, I would not be opposed to Nia Jax pinning Sasha Banks for the championship at SummerSlam, and then having Sasha and Nia feud for the title going on past SummerSlam, with Sasha Banks hopefully getting the title later on in the year, and then maybe as we head towards WrestleMania in New Orleans, we could see the plans that I originally laid out for you with Sasha turning heel and Bayley the babyface, and we get that instead of at SummerSlam at WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. That's my prediction for that. So I say Alexa Bliss wins, she beats Sasha Banks, and she retains the Raw Women's Championship. Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt. I absolutely, positively do not care. Who do I think wins? I think Seth Rollins beats Bray Wyatt. Why? That's just my prediction, and I'm leaving it at that. Don't know why they're fighting. I don't care why they're fighting. I just don't care. It's just blah, 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 blah. The main thing here is Seth Rollins is on the cover of WWE 2K18, and he was interrupted by Bray Wyatt. Wyatt accused Rollins of contradicting the video game's tagline, "Be like no one," by having conformed to the exceptions of the audience. And then Rollins attacked Bray Wyatt. Wyatt then challenged Rollins to a match of Great Balls of Fire, which Rollins accepted. Rollins then said he would show the world that Wyatt was not a god and merely a coward. Oh, he's a god, all right. The god of losing. The god of L's. Wyatt then, in a fucking abandoned desert, just very reminiscent of his career, lost and hopeless, also cut a promo and said that everything that had been happening on Raw since he moved to the brand was because of him. Seth Rollins wins, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to that. Don't really give a shit. Will it be a good match? Probably. But it's not something that I'm really going to be like, oh my God, this was a great match. I can't wait to watch this again. No. Bray Wyatt, another L coming to him at Great Balls of Fire. Seth Rollins with a victory this Sunday. Braun Strowman. Here's the good stuff. Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. These guys have been feuding since the Royal Rumble, where Braun Strowman, out of nowhere, interfered in a Universal Championship match between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. So that was that. Now, we have these two feuds this feud between these two guys, Strowman and Reigns. Strowman continued his feud with Reigns. He defeated him at Payback, assaulted him after the match, and then again on Raw Talk, where Reigns was about to be taken to a medical facility, Reigns retaliated by slamming an ambulance door against Strowman multiple times. Then the next night on Raw, General Manager Kurt Angle informed the audience that both men were injured. Strowman was wearing his arm in a sling, indicated that he would like to target the Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar, after finishing off Reigns. Reigns then attacked Strowman, and his arm was then the focus of this storyline. Strowman then required surgery and was expected to be out up to 6 months, which was bullshit. So it was nothing but a ploy. He came back in 2. On June 19, Reigns challenged whoever the Universal Champion would be at SummerSlam between Joe and Lesnar. Later on that night, Strowman returned in an ambulance, costing Reigns his match against Samoa Joe. Strowman then attacked Reigns and challenged him to an ambulance match at Great Balls of Fire in a great attack where he threw Roman Reigns off the stage and threw him right into the ambulance door. Fantastic. The following week, Reigns accepted the challenge and an ambulance appeared on the stage. Reigns went to investigate. Strowman attacked him, put him in the ambulance. On the final Raw before Great Balls of Fire, Strowman destroyed Apollo Crews. He threw Apollo Crews inside the ambulance. But as he slammed the door and told the ambulance to drive away, it didn't drive away after 3 attempts. Roman Reigns then revealed himself to be the driver of the ambulance, attacked Braun Strowman, and the two brawled and ended the show with Reigns spearing Strowman off the stage, through tables and boxes down below off the Monday Night Raw stage. So that's where we are today. I am assuming here that the winner of this match, realistically, is going to be the number 1 contender for the Universal Championship. That's the way I see it. But is that the way WWE sees it? Whatever happens with this match, and whatever is going to come of this match, I should say, is going to directly affect the Universal Championship, and vice versa. This match, this ambulance match, is going to directly affect the Universal Championship match between Lesnar and Joe, and the Universal Championship match is going to directly affect what happens with these two guys, Strowman and Reigns, after Great Balls of Fire is over, going into SummerSlam. Now, I had a video that I released yesterday, Off the Script Extra, talking about spoilers about who's going to win this match. And I'm going to pull it up right now. I'm going to put it up right now on my screen. What I read to you yesterday as far as the outcome of this match. According to Bill Body of Sportskeeda, Strowman will beat Roman Reigns on Sunday night, and this is according to his sources. He said anything else that you heard regarding this match, is false. Roman Reigns is going to lose this Sunday, according to Bill Body. Now, if that is the case, what happens with Lesnar and Samoa Joe? What happens? If Braun Strowman beats Roman Reigns, and WWE gives us Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, it's fresh, it's new, and it's something that will be just as legit and a huge main event, just like Lesnar and Joe is. Okay? Something I think a lot of people would be heavily invested in is Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar. But I will say this. There's two things here that I want you guys to take into consideration. And I hope WWE thinks the same way. Okay? Braun Strowman being injured for 2 months, it really, really fucked the plans up for WWE. You know? Usually when somebody gets hurt, there's somebody else that's going to take that ball and take that spot and really make it hard for the creative team and for Vince McMahon and everybody involved in the booking. There's always going to be that one guy that makes everything that much more difficult, to the point where you can't go back and do the original plans that you want, and you're going to have to stall and you're going to have to revisit those plans at a later date. That man is Samoa Joe. I want you guys to understand here that all because Braun Strowman was in the plans for SummerSlam against Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship before he got injured doesn't mean that Braun Strowman's going to be in the plans for the Universal Championship now since he came back from injury. It doesn't work that way. When you come back from injury, there's always going to be that guy to take your spot. And that guy is Samoa Joe. I'm telling you right now that do not sleep on Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is not going to win the title at Great Balls of Fire. If Joe wins the title, it will be at SummerSlam. Joe is going to lose to Brock Lesnar. How? I don't know. That's the most difficult thing about this. How does Joe lose? Does he lose in a monumental effort? Do we see a muscle buster and a kick out by Brock Lesnar? Do we see Samoa Joe built up as this fucking megastar who took Brock Lesnar to an inch of his life and still loses the title? Samoa Joe is going to take Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, Michael Hayes, everybody else in the back who's part of creative. He's going to take all those guys collectively and push their backs against the wall. Samoa Joe is going to make people believe at the end of Sunday night. You're going to hear that crowd on Sunday night. You're going to hear the reaction for Joe. You're going to hear the reaction for this match. And you're going to hear the reaction from the people in Dallas that want Samoa Joe to beat Brock Lesnar. At that point, you are going to see Samoa Joe give everybody in the back one of those fucking feelings like, we thought this was going to be one and done. There's no way this can be one and done. This has to, just based on what we've seen, this has to go into SummerSlam. Now, there's only two things here, and one of them I would prefer to have happen. There's only two scenarios that could even come out of this. There's nothing else. According to Bill Body, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar is and forever will be the plan for WrestleMania. That Vince McMahon will not listen to anyone in regards to changing that idea. That nobody will even fight Vince McMahon on that idea because it will automatically be shot down. That is a terrible idea. That is a terrible idea. You're not going to handcuff the Universal Championship all the way till WrestleMania only for Roman Reigns to get it in such an inevitable way. It's bullshit. It is absolutely bullshit. Okay? That's the worst fucking scenario out of all of this. All of this. If you want that to happen, move it up till SummerSlam and do it now and get it over with. End our misery. So at least the title will be on Raw. So that Strowman and Joe and Balor and Rollins can fight for the title. Don't handcuff the title around Lesnar's waist and merely hold it on Lesnar for Reigns to get it again. Plans change. And those plans are Samoa Joe. That's it. End it. If you do Lesnar Reigns at WrestleMania, you are making a huge mistake. The first time was special. This time, it's blatant. And nobody is going to find any investment in that match. I am telling you right now. Nobody. Two scenarios happen here. One, Braun Strowman wins and he beats Roman Reigns and he fights Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam one-on-one. What happens to Roman Reigns? Samoa Joe's waiting for him at SummerSlam. That's it. But that seems pretty boring to you, doesn't it? Right? Strowman versus Reigns is fantastic. That's a main event made for SummerSlam. But Reigns versus Joe? What type of stipulation? Is there going to be a stipulation? What's on the line? What are they fighting for? I don't know. They fighting for a number one contendership? Are they fighting to see who gets the winner of the Universal Championship match in the main event of SummerSlam? I don't know. But Joe Reigns, though they have a good dynamic, though it's an intriguing match, it really doesn't give you that sense of oomph. It doesn't give you like, holy shit, this is SummerSlam, you know? Or Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, the ambulance match, no matter how it ends, we see Braun Strowman win, we see Roman Reigns win. We see Samoa Joe beat Brock Lesnar to the inch of his life, right? And almost take the Universal Championship, be made into a superstar in a losing effort, but claims that he wants one more shot, and he will do anything and take Raw hostage and fucking destroy everybody that's on that roster until he gets another shot at Brock Lesnar. Or we see what I pitched a couple of weeks ago. Brock Lesnar, the Universal Champion, defending the title at SummerSlam against Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, and Samoa Joe in an elimination fatal four-way match to determine who is the Universal Champion. At that point, you would have Samoa Joe beat everybody in that match, and you would have him win the Universal Championship. What do you do with Braun Strowman after that? I don't give a shit. What do you do with Strowman and Lesnar? The original plan that Vince McMahon and WWE wanting Strowman and Lesnar for Great Balls of Fire. Now we're talking about Strowman and Lesnar for SummerSlam. Listen, you know, people are talking about Brock Lesnar not re-signing with the WWE. People are talking about Brock Lesnar just walking away from the WWE. You know, why don't you save Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar for WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans and save that for WrestleMania? Meanwhile, you have Joe on Monday Night Raw made into a fucking megastar by taking Brock Lesnar to the limit at Great Balls of Fire, doing it again and taking the title off of him at SummerSlam, becoming the Universal Champion, and holding the title on Raw as a legit fucking monster. Then we can get Joe versus a Reigns, Joe versus a Balor, Joe versus a Rollins, right? Joe versus a Strowman for the Universal Championship. Much more to do with the Universal Championship by having it on a dominant fucking heel on the brand who's full-time instead of a dominating heel who's only showing up twice, 3 times a year. That's what I say. I say it doesn't matter who wins between Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. As long as WWE does the right thing and doesn't go with the generic plan of Strowman versus Lesnar and then Reigns versus Samoa Joe and then Samoa Joe being cast off into the fucking abyss somewhere, never to be seen in the main event again, merely used as a stepping stone for Roman Reigns, and we go to Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Nobody wants any of that. That entire pizza pie that I just laid out for you, I don't want it, bro. It's stale. The crust is too hard for me. Okay? And the cheese is aged and old. It's moldy. Nobody wants it. What you need to do is what I laid out for you. Doesn't matter who wins the ambulance match. If Reigns wants to win it, fine. Braun Strowman wants to win it, fine. But Joe and Lesnar, Joe's going to prove a lot of people wrong. Joe's going to prove a lot of people wrong at Great Balls of Fire. He's going to push everybody's back against that wall, and he's going to force everybody to put him in the main event of SummerSlam. Because if Joe is not in the main event of SummerSlam, you, WWE, you, Vince McMahon, are making a huge fuck up. That's my opinion on that. It's either you do what you originally planned to do, which is garbage, or you give us a colossal fatal four-way match at SummerSlam that people can really raise their eyebrows at, and holy shit. You talk about main events. That's a main event I think everybody would love to see at SummerSlam. I say Braun Strowman beats Roman Reigns in the ambulance match because this is a stipulation where Roman Reigns' shoulders do not need to be pinned clean 1, 2, 3. I say Braun Strowman beats Roman Reigns in the ambulance match. I say Brock Lesnar beats Samoa Joe barely at Great Balls of Fire and retains the title. And I say WWE goes on to make a fatal four-way match at SummerSlam. That's my prediction. Might not happen. Might not even be in the cards. But I'm letting you know what needs to happen. If we see any generic, stale bullshit that they originally planned, we all know the inevitability. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to feel that. Why do we have to feel that going into SummerSlam? If you want that at SummerSlam, do it at SummerSlam. Or if you want that at WrestleMania now, do it at SummerSlam. Just end it. Get it over with. You know? But I'm going with Brock Lesnar. I'm going with Braun Strowman. And then I'm pitching the idea of a fatal four-way here at SummerSlam. Those are the only two things to come out of that. After that report from Bill Body and Sportskeeda, that's the only thing to come out of Great Balls of Fire that makes any fucking sense. Now, before we end this huge episode of Off the Script, loving this so far, there are rumors right now on the plans for Brock Lesnar after SummerSlam. This is, again, reiterating what I just talked about. Great Balls of Fire will mark the first time Brock Lesnar has defended the Universal Championship since winning it at WrestleMania 33 against Bill Goldberg. Brock will defend his title against Samoa Joe at the event in a highly anticipated match. There have also been multiple rumors about Brock Lesnar and his potential opponent at SummerSlam. Regardless of who he faces, Brock is expected to wrestle at the event. But what about after? Brock is currently being advertised by WWE.com to wrestle at the No Mercy pay-per-view. That event takes place on September 24th in Los Angeles. This is a pay-per-view directly after SummerSlam. That means Brock Lesnar will be wrestling at 3 straight events for Monday Night Raw. This is very interesting because of how little he has defended the Universal title over the first few months of his reign. Also, this could indicate that Brock will be losing the title at SummerSlam, and No Mercy would be the event where he gets his rematch. This is only speculation, and we will have to wait and see what happens. As of this writing, Brock is not being advertised for WWE Tables, Ladders, and Chairs in October. That's replacing Hell in a Cell for Monday Night Raw, or Survivor Series in November. So, this could mean, and this could correlate with previous reports that we discussed last weekend on the show, that Brock Lesnar is pushing to extend this feud with Samoa Joe. If he's wrestling at No Mercy, that means he's getting a rematch. Because Brock Lesnar is not going to be in anything but a Universal Championship match. So what does that mean? Is it possible that what I am saying happens? Does Joe lose barely at Great Balls of Fire? Does Joe win the title at SummerSlam? Does Joe get a rematch, or Lesnar get a rematch with Joe at No Mercy? I don't know. But according to that, it could potentially be that way. Now, finally, before we end this episode of Off the Script, there is news on Samoa Joe opening up about facing Brock Lesnar. Now, I know a few people within House of Glory who have talked to Samoa Joe a few years back, and he's always wanted a match with Brock Lesnar. That was his one dream scenario. If he came into the WWE, that's what he wanted most out of anything. And he's getting it this Sunday, and he's going to fucking excel beyond anybody's wildest imagination. I'm telling you right now. Samoa Joe was recently interviewed by ESPN in order to promote the upcoming Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view. The event will see Joe challenge Lesnar for the title. Joe versus Brock is considered a dream match for a lot of fans, and WWE has done a great job, pretty much the only good thing that they've done on Monday Night Raw, in building this match up so far. Even when Joe was in NXT, he was very outspoken about his desire to face Brock Lesnar. When Brock Lesnar was suspended for the UFC drug policy by taking, illegal substances right before his match at UFC 200, they suspended him soon thereafter. Joe was very vocal in a very cryptic tweet. I don't know what he said, but he said something along the lines of, well, there goes that, because nobody knew what the future held. Or nobody knew what the future was for Brock Lesnar. But now, clearly, it's a different story. During the interview, Joe took a quick break from being a badass, and he talked about how big of a match this is for him and his career. And I quote, Brock was at the top of my list of guys that I wanted to work with. There are certain special guys in this industry, and Brock is one of those special guys. And to be able to go out there and work with guys like that, that's where legacies are built. He is right. A win against Brock on Sunday would be massive for him moving forward. Even a great performance and a loss will help him out immensely. His stock is already at an all-time high. Imagine, after Sunday, what's going to happen. I am telling you right now. Mark my words. After Sunday night, Joe is going to push everybody in the WWE and their backs against the wall. Joe will force WWE to put him in the main event of SummerSlam. That is my prediction. That is your Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view predictions. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think down below. And I will see you all tomorrow for episode 177, part number 2 of Off the Script. Make sure you guys support via Patreon, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. Barbershop window /off the script. Use code AMERICA for 20% off. Get your t-shirts this week. Huge savings if you guys have wanted to buy a t-shirt. Barbershopwindow.com/off the script. Use code AMERICA at checkout. Audible trial for all new listeners of the podcast. audibletrial.com/off the script. Free audiobook, 30 days free to try their service out, compatible with iPhone and Android. And capbeast.com. Use code JD10 at checkout if you guys want anything custom made, hats, caps, whatever you need. Capbeast has got you covered, man. Follow me on Twitter at JD206 and hit that subscribe button down below with that bell for the notification. I'll be back tomorrow with episode 177, part number 2. Major news on WWE having a tag team tournament next year. Also, the women might finally be getting a Royal Rumble match in January. We'll talk about all that plus so much more Off the Script. Thank you guys so much. Hit that thumbs up, and I will see you all tomorrow for Off the Script. Talk to you later.